Test, test. Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow.
All right. Oh, love this. I haven't sat on this couch for quite a while, so warmly welcome to the community engagement in our new web panel. I'm Victoria. I already had a speech here today on the e-commerce stage, and now we're here on the tech stage, and I brought some fantastic guests with me, and we will discuss the value of communities within the next 20-ish minutes. And before we start and you guys introduce yourself, let's maybe discuss one thing first. What does community actually mean to you and why it's important? In one sentence.
I mean, community is probably the most important thing in Web3. That's what I definitely learned over the last couple of years. And if you have a really cool and engaged community, it can really bring innovation and your brand to the next level. That's why it's so important, really.
Mm-hmm. Helena?
I would add that in decentralized networks, community is key because they decide.
Yes?
Community is users as first-class citizens in everything.
Nice. Okay, let's dive directly into it. You haven't introduced yourself yet. We will guide this throughout the questions, so maybe we'll start with Sven. Can you, first of all, tell us who you are and maybe why SAP is actually focusing on community?
Yeah. That's, most people are find it a bit crazy, right, that SAP is in that space.
Exactly.
So my name is Sven, I work for SAP, but more specifically, I'm actually in the customer experience group. And that means all the customer-facing tools and solutions, for example, like SAP Immersis. And I would say that we've been focusing and also caring about communities for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But not necessarily with NFTs, right? So SAP Immersis is a multi-channel marketing tool, omni-channel marketing tool, and big brands like Puma, for example, are using it to engage with their audiences. And now with NFT management, we're basically adding NFTs to the whole marketing mix, which is the cool new thing, and that's why we're here on stage, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. And since when do you actually do this? Why did you start with that?
Yeah, so I think the caring for communities really came with the acquisition of SAP Immersis already many years back, right? Mm-hmm. But those communities were the classical, traditional communities that you know about when you have your brands, basically, right? And what we now add with NFT management is the Web3 community. And for me, honestly, myself being part of that community, I own some Angry Dynamites Labs, NFTs, for example. I'm part of the Meta Brew Society, or some crypto beer community. The Web3 community is probably the most loyal community. Those are the most loyal communities that I've ever seen on this planet. Mm-hmm. So they have Discord channels, they actively ask for what can we do better, basically, and then the brands actually react to that and build it into their products. Mm-hmm. And I think so many big brands could actually benefit from that. And I think that's why we're, in the end, in that space now.
Yeah. Thank you. Helena, coming to you, maybe take the time to introduce yourself and especially what Chain4Travel is actually.
Thank you. I'm Helena Vossen. I'm VP Marketing at Chain4Travel. We are a Swiss travel tech startup. I always love to describe what we do with our name because it actually describes it perfectly. We have built a blockchain for the travel industry. And we are travel tech people, so our founders are big names in the travel industry. And they have explored 2 years ago that blockchain is actually a way better tech infrastructure to solve current travel industry problems. And if you think, what problems? You might not know, but the entire travel industry actually operates on 40 years old technology. Yeah. Which is why, for example, when you type your name wrong when booking a flight, this is actually a very expensive mistake. And this is due to the fact that it's old tech. And they found, that's why we have built Camino network. It's a layer 1 blockchain built for the travel industry. And we have built a community, a Web3 travel global community around it with big brands from all over travel, like Lufthansa as an airline, Sixt as a car rental company, or TUI as a global tour operator have joined the network.
But the travel companies and the brands that are part of this Chain4Travel ecosystem, is this then really a community? Would you describe it like that?
Yes, definitely. So, like I said, communities are key in Web3. They are governing the network. So, it's truly a decentralized network. We as Chain4Travel don't own this network. It's run by validators, so-called validators, which are over 100 already. All travel industry participants. They are one part of it's an entire ecosystem. They are one small part of this community. And there's many more participants like builders developing use cases on the network. We have token enthusiasts that are eagerly awaiting our CAM token launch, and many supporters. So over 200 brands actually are part of the ecosystem, are part of the wider community interested in engaging with the network.
Interesting. Coming to Viet, take the time to introduce yourself and I guess also what Celestia is and your role in this ecosystem.
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Viet. Right now I'm head of DevRels at Celestia Labs. I'm one of the founding engineers who was doing protocol, and now I need to be more extroverty, to help builders. And Celestia is a modular data availability network that helps communities, users, builders launch their own blockchain. It's easy as smart contracts. So if you make something very easy, now you will end up with the worst, I would say the hardest part everyone ends up with is how you build communities.
Yeah.
And one of the goals we thought that we need to chase is if someone will launch, let's say, a blockchain app as a roll-up, whatever, how they automatically can get their first 100 users, i.e. champions. And if they're successful, let's say they just announce on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it, where's the community to say, hey, let's do a Twitter Spaces, or like, hey, let's do a weird podcast. And you don't need to, nourish that. Like, this is the hardest part, which tech usually, is not capable of solving. This is where humans need to trust humans, and this is what I think about community.
And how exactly are these decentralized technologies like NFTs or DAOs in general changing the way communities are being formed for you?
I think, coming back, for example, the topic with NFTs, when you see the set of weird images, you first hate it, then you start to appreciate it, and at the end of the day, you see that there are other weird people that you don't know behind the screens, but you can relate to them because you have rituals. Let's say the ritual for Bored Apes was how to show that we are exclusive. I'm part of one of the NFT collection slots. Everyone is showing how lazy they are, and this kind of getting funny because community is getting built not because of the image behind it, but because of what people try to be creative with it. And I think this is one of the good part about decentralized technology, that you can create rituals without even knowing the other person on the other side. It's like with Uniswap, when we all understood that you can actually exchange assets to assets without a centralized middleman. And with NFTs and communities, we are now going the step further and saying, well, we can actually have a community without a central piece on coordination. And this is how I think the tech is helping.
You're like, yes. Okay. Going maybe back to Helena, what are the actually biggest challenges to really maintain or engage these Web3 communities?
I would say, in our case, it's quite difficult because it's a very unique case.
Yeah.
It's a layer one blockchain, so an entire ecosystem. And I would split these communities really into two parts now, because we have the B2B travel community, where we are trying to onboard basically a global Web2 community, a global Web2 travel industry, which is not used to Web3 at all. And it's a very complex topic when you're a newcomer. So we're trying to, and the challenge is for us, and it's a lot of educational work, to translate that complex language of tokens, blockchains, smart contracts, even NFTs, into a language they understand. And I think we've done a good job in the past 2 years with blog articles, educational newsletters. We do physical events where we educate about it, and also business Tinder, basically, so matching companies in our ecosystem with startups.
Keep that in mind.
with interested Web3 startups. And yeah, on the other side, we have this growing B2C community now, being 1 year live only. We see though that there's high interest, and with them it's very difficult and very different. Not difficult, but it's different because they request much more attention. Like you were saying, they are very active. They are very interested. They say good morning, good night every day in the Discord channels, and you have thousands of people following you from Indonesia and all over the world that are truly interested in your project, and you have to engage with them. So we do quests and little games, really fun games where they can in return receive airdrops. But the challenge is, I would say, with that community to see and realize what's real and fake, because there are so many bots out there that are fake, scams that are fake, and I think that is difficult to realize that, and also to split the token hunters that are only there for the token, basically, to make quick money from the community that's really engaged.
That's true. Sven, for whom are you actually building this NFT management tool that I've also tried out when I was at your booth?
Yeah, we're building it for customers, right? And hopefully will pay us at some point. So we're not yet a product. It's an incubation project right now, but I think the perfect fit would be to use this as part of your existing marketing mix, as part of an SAP immersive strategy, and adding NFTs. Well, that's the thing, actually, to your mix, basically, right? And what it really means for a big brand is you can now, as easy as sending an email, you can basically create NFT collections, drop NFTs to your end customers, and you can figure out who actually among your customers is in the crypto space, who likes to collect NFTs, and who likes to go with you on a journey and basically conquer new markets or new areas of loyalty, for example, right? And it turns out a lot of people really love to collect NFTs, and we thought, I mean, that's not enough, right? Just collecting something is not enough, but we worked on adding some extra rewards on top of that. So what we've done, that's what you see here in the background. It's the first NFT of 2 NFTs that we're dropping at the next year.
Now.
You need to scan this now because there are just a few NFTs left, actually. The second NFT is given out at the SAP Immersive booth, which is roughly in this direction, just a few meters off. And once you've collected both NFTs, and we call that NFT hunt, you unlock a reward.
Yeah.
And I'm a really huge fan of unlocking rewards and these unlock loyalty programs, basically. And I think that also fits to a lot of brands out there. And it makes a lot of sense, right? And you can use these NFTs for anything else, right? You can unlock your Discord channels. You can maybe do a collaboration with another big brand, for example, very easily. And those are all part of the benefits.
And Viet, it seems like you are very much in the Celestia bubble. It's very technical and stuff, but how do you actually plan, or what are the ways to really connect with the ones who might really use the technology? Like, for example, brands, corporates, the ones that may have no idea what solutions they may be with blockchain. How do you connect, or how do you plan to build this bridge?
Yeah, that's an interesting topic because most of the builders are introverts, so they don't want to talk to people, so you have the first problem.
Yeah.
Second problem is community in general, when it comes to very high tech, nerdy stuff, for them it's very hard to get that. And one of the things we understood we should do more in order to connect those bubbles together is how to build very simple mini applications that are habit forming. What I mean by this is, imagine if we could have the same representation of apps we have today, but with the property, let's say with secured HTTP connection. Now, everyone in this room never thinks about if my HTTP connection is secured, we just treat it as default. Well, in blockchains, now in order to get there, we need to do the same. Because if communities will understand that A, this is not a scam anymore, B, this is a collectible, and C, it is safe, it's not a grift, I think we have achieved our goals. The Valhalla is here. So yeah. output like this.
I think this is something we can talk about for hours, since I know this is your topic.
Yeah.
But talking about interaction and like bringing people together, you've been doing a hackathon in our co-working space, bringing the industry together with Web3 people. How does it impact actually the community to have these physical interactions?
I think for us, it was from the very beginning very clear that physical events coming together is just boosting co-creation, collaboration, and also connectivity. So that's why, we've organized for the Web3, or for the developer community, basically, we're organizing hackathons. First one in your W3 hub. Now we're actually going global, and the next one is happening in Antalya in November. The concept is basically that we bring travel industry companies together with Web3 developers, and they develop on the infrastructure Camino network new solutions. So they are really tackling real industry pain points. With the last hackathon, we had Holiday Check. It was about decentralized reviews, so basically verified reviews, their case. And in 48 hours, these hackers developed a proof of concept for a solution, and it's quite interesting to see. For the B2B community, on the other hand, we organize for the third time this year a community event where we bring together 250 industry leaders. We educate them on stage, we show builder spotlights, inspire them. So this year we have Lufthansa on stage, presenting a use case with a partner that they have actually found during one of these physical events last year. Now they are launching doing business together, which is exciting to see, and proving that co-creation can only happen in these physical environments.
Mm-hmm. Congrats to that, by the way. Sven, since you're also like deeper into the Web3 NFT bubble, can you share some more emerging strategies that are really tackling Web3 communities, bringing people together?
So I think, for most brands, it's probably a new thing to add NFTs to their marketing mix already, right? So that's a lot of innovation, and I think it is actually still the right time, right? I mean, the hype is over, but right now we see more and more real use cases like these NFT hunts, for example, right? That really engage with people and that they love to unlock rewards basically and engage with a brand in a totally different way, with NFTs, for example. What I'm really, really waiting for somewhere in the future is like two big brands giving out NFTs and then realizing how easy it is to do a collaboration, for example. Because the whole Web3 space is actually one big collaboration, right? You know it yourself from your own experiences. Yeah. There's collabs across all these NFT communities typically, right? On Discord and in all other communities. And that's enabled because the ownership of these NFTs is on a blockchain. And if you, let's say, two big brands want to collaborate, all they have to do is they have to put up a website, they have to check your wallet if you have these two NFTs, and off you go, you have a reward or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm really waiting for, because there's no non-GDPR compliant contact data sharing or stuff like that, actually, right? Yeah. There is just an easy website that checks for two NFTs and basically engages with you and unlocks some rewards, for example. And I think that's an amazing benefit, really. So that's what I hope to see somewhere in the future.
I also need to do this so I can unlock my rewards. Because
and it all starts with this QR code, right? So scan it now.
Exactly. Okay, Viet, you have the last words. What do you think, what impact will Web3 communities have on Web2 communities or the real world dynamics?
I think that the burger armed waiting times will be 0. And of course, coordinating on changes that you want on the government level will just be as boring as scrolling TikTok. That's what I feel would happen. Yeah.
Okay, these were your last words. Thank you very much. We actually made it quite well on time. Thank you all for participating. And if someone wants to talk to these wonderful people, they're still here after the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your attention.